Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the first unofficial, unnamed Chelsea podcast. It's unnamed because we don't know what to call it really. Kieran, also known as Kieran, Kizzle Kicks number 7. Mate, what a night last night was.
That was pretty special. Yeah, I mean, we've done some good away days before, but that one right up there.
With the podcast, we want to kind of keep things topical, as in like what's happening right now with Chelsea. But we kind of just want this to be like a timeless thing where we don't know when we're going to record one, because obviously this man lives in Cambridge, I live in London. It's not the furthest place away from one another. It's not like right now we're in Amsterdam and we've got to catch a flight. But we don't want too many expectations with it. We just want to roll, flow, see how it goes.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good. So, keyring.
Yes.
It's an inside joke, all right?
I was going to say, you're going to have to give that some context.
We do have to give this some context. So you should tell the story. How did you become Keyring? It sounds like we're just in school and calling you a silly name.
Right, well was it last season? It was a Christmas fixture. It might have even been the season before, actually.
Everton away.
Everton away. It was either the Boxing Day game or the 28th, something like that. We're on our way back, I think, from the worst 0-0 draw and one of the worst games we've ever witnessed.
It was bad.
8 hours odd of travelling. So we stopped at the Starbucks to get a coffee. So I put my order in and then, can I have your name please, sir? Sure, it's Kieran. Right, it's not hard. It's Kieran. It's always been Kieran.
It's not hard.
I even spelt it numerous times. They were struggling with that. So after 8-9 times of saying Kieran and spelling it, Jack, the guy that was with us, Jack Heyman, shout out, but he just shouts, it's Keyring. And as if
everything just fixed itself. Key ring on the cup.
Whether this barista knew a few key rings, I don't know, but she seemed to instantly get it and wrote key ring on the cup. So obviously I've sat down and then a big shout goes out, coffee for key ring.
It's just what you want to hear when you're on your way back from a dreadful 0-0, isn't it really?
It's not even that funny, and you kind of had to be there, but Starbucks in Colne, I think, something really
like
random.
That. On the way back from Everton, there's a few little service stations where if you're going up north for a fixture, there's a couple of points where you just know you're going to bump into a couple of Chels on your way home. So this man here is now known as Keyring's gang. And if you wondered why we called him Keyring, the captain, at the start of the vlog here in Amsterdam for the Ajax away game, then that would explain things.
I think that's the worst thing, the fact that it's stuck.
It has stuck.
Such an unmemorable moment.
It's now at the top of the WhatsApp group chat. It's iconic for many, many reasons. Speaking of iconic, I think the way that you've done your away trip this week was pretty iconic, Mr. I fly out with no ticket and hope for the best on the day.
Yeah, I booked the flights. I was getting annoyed actually at work on Friday, and I thought, do you know what? I should be in Amsterdam. I should have bought the tickets. Should have booked it when they went on sale. I didn't, and then decided, right, I'm going to fly out there. Hopefully I'll pick up a ticket in the Chelsea end and everything will be good. Got here Tuesday. Was on the hunt for a ticket constantly. Was tweeting out, was ringing people, texting people. Couldn't get one in the Chelsea end, so I started looking on StubHub. Funnily enough, there's about 10 tickets in the Ajax end, but the price starts at about €250.
That's expensive. That's remortgageable.
It is remortgageable. No mortgage jokes, please. And
sorry.
But I got someone responded to a tweet that I put out, just saying I've got one. It's legit. Ring me. I called this number. He says, right, the ticket's not mine. The ticket's someone else's. I just wanted you to hear my voice to make sure it was all legit and wasn't a scam, because hearing someone's voice instantly means it isn't a scam.
100%. That's the way it works.
Got another number. Rang this other number. An e-ticket was emailed across to me. I had to find a hotel to print it. And got to the ground, got to the turnstile, was very nervous, but little green light went in, the gates opened, and I sat and watched it in the home end, silently, because I wasn't allowed to make a noise.
To be fair, €60, plus the cost of getting here, which was
about 180.
About £180 flights.
Yeah.
We got flights, Lawrence and I got flights from Luton for £87. So if we're talking best case scenario, £87 plus, I think our tickets were like €42 each. In terms of like value for money, for entertainment, enjoyment, it's a happiness fulfiller for this man. I said, when you were coming and you didn't have a ticket and you were kind of umming and ahhing about it, I was like, listen, sometimes in life you just got to make a decision for the happiness of your moments that will occur after, as a result of this split-second decision of spending a relatively large sum of money. So in terms of giving advice to many people here, sometimes it's better to just put your hand in your pocket, spend a bit of money to come and watch Chelsea play. Speaking of watching Chelsea play, How did we play last night?
I think we played well, really well. The bit that worried me is you think back to all the successful teams, especially we've always had like a leader, whether it's JT, whether it's Frank, if you want to go back further, Dennis Wise. The lack of a leader worries me, but when you've got 8 or 9 players that are just going to give you 110% every week, it kind of counters that. And I was a bit worried last night. I thought we maybe, I know Ajax are traditionally a footballing side, but I thought we might get sort of outfought in the noise and the atmosphere, especially being such a young, inexperienced side. But we pulled through, and then, well, Pulisic come on, didn't he? Set up his former teammate.
That combination.
Batman's done it again.
It's one of those things where if it happens once, you're like, oh, like, yeah, they played together at Dortmund. But it's happening on numerous occasions to the point where, okay, the 4th goal at Southampton isn't the most important goal ever, but we kind of saw that connection there for the first real time. To do that in that fashion last night was absolutely incredible. 86th minute of the game?
Yeah.
That is a steal to bring back the commentary line from Atletico Madrid, which resulted in this. This man made a little... we have to bring it up now, because it was technically your fault that I got this tattoo last time.
And I was, on the way out here, bearing in mind I had no ticket, made the same bet, lightning won't strike twice and all that. I was like, there's no way I didn't think we were going to win the game, first of all. I'd have taken a draw, I'd have put your hand off for a draw prior to kick-off, to then go back to the bridge and beat them. But I said, right, we won't win the game. Someone said, if we do, will you get a tattoo? And I said, well, if we do, and it's Michi who gets the winner, I will also get a bat. It's all in the WhatsApp group, so I can't even duck out of it now.
There you go. This is how friendships are made and forged. So if you're listening to this on iTunes and Spotify, obviously if you're watching it on YouTube, this is just like a standard upload for you guys watching on there. But we're going to upload these to iTunes and Spotify if you don't have the time to sit through a YouTube video. So can you confirm that the next podcast we do, or maybe the one after, what's the time limit we got to give you it?
Well, it's not going to be before Burnley. We're obviously heading up north in a couple of days.
We are.
So it's not going to be before then. It's not going to happen up north either. I want to go to a trusted...
Why not?
I want to go to a trusted vendor in London. Not that you can't trust
trusted vendor? What's wrong with the tattoo artist up north?
I ain't got time to do my research. I know a few places in London. Where you got yours done was all right.
That was fine to be
fair. I might go there. Next Chelsea home game that we go to, it might be a pre-match, have a drink, get a tattoo, and just get it over with.
Well,
I wish I never said it. I can't back out now though.
But the thing is, as we said earlier, it's these decisions that we make, Kieran, that shape who we are.
What happens when he next goes out on loan?
He's not going out on loan now.
BATSHUAYI.
On a
that
serious
guy who
note,
plays for Fiorentina.
Serious note, let's not deviate away from this point. Do you think that Michy Batshuayi is one of the best options that Chelsea have as a backup striker? Do you think he's happy to be playing second fiddle to Tammy, to come on and have moments like that where we all remember? That's 3 games now where he's been wearing a black kit. West Brom, iconic goal. Atletico Madrid, obviously the importance of the individual goal wasn't as iconic, but it kind of was. And that last night, this man turns up when we need him to, at the biggest times, and his goal scoring record for Chelsea is brilliant.
I think that's the key, is whether he's happy to do that long term. Because he's 26, he's not
young.
He's like in the peak now. So he, in his mind, he's going to want to be playing. However, we are Chelsea, we are a massive club. He hasn't done those 3 goals. But if you're talking consistently on the big stage at maybe a Euros or a World Cup, he hasn't been the man. He's always been second fiddle. He's not Belgium's man.
Yeah, but he's not Belgium's man, but he still is Belgium's man, though. Because they've got so many good attacking players, yet he's always there.
Yeah, and I think he's one of them players that if you are 0-0 or you're struggling for a goal, or even if you're losing, you chuck him on, he could come on and put in the worst shift you've ever seen.
Oh, Atletico. The reason I said that in Atletico is because every time he got near the ball, it's like he fell over. It's like he was like on an ice rink and everyone else was playing on a beautiful football pitch. But yeah, he did it again.
I just think he is one of them players. It's a real gamble when you chuck him on. Like, I feel more comfortable when Olivier Giroud comes on, I'll be honest.
Really?
His goal scoring record as a substitute, I think it's only Jermaine Defoe that's got more Premier League substitute goals. Or is it Solskjaer or Teddy Sheringham? I don't know.
Stats man, like that.
No, unconfirmed. But as long as he's happy to do that and he's not going to sit there and go, right, I've come on, I've scored 2 or 3 important goals now, I should be starting. Because I don't think he is a top 4 starting striker. That being said, he is a striker that you love to have at your club.
I agree.
And that's a sad position for him to be in.
Of course, and I'd love to know what you guys have to say about that. Is Batshuayi a player that can start for a top 4 club? Kieran doesn't believe so. I'm kind of also in the position where I am very much happy with what Batshuayi does when he's given the opportunity to do so. But do I think he could, let's just say now for argument's sake, emulate what Tammy's doing right now, top goal scorer in the Premier League? I think that if we were to remove Tammy, despite us creating a lot of chances this season, which we do I think Michy Batshuayi would have 8 goals at this stage if he was playing as many games as Tammy? No.
I'll rephrase it. How do you feel now if Tammy gets an injury and he's out for 6 weeks?
I'm worried,
but that's what you've got to think about. Is he first team consistently? I can step in if our main striker gets injured and do what our main striker's been doing. Granted, Tammy's got a job to do to keep this up now. He's set the bar here in terms of expectation.
Yeah.
And we now expect that from him week in, week out, but we also have to keep in the back of our minds he's young, he's inexperienced at this level still. But I don't think Michy Batshuayi would deliver what Tammy has done yet. That being said, I've never loved a player that is not a starting 11 player as much as I love Michy Batshuayi. Maybe Mikel Forssell if you want to go back.
Mikel Forssell, for those of you that have been Chelsea fans for a long time, you'll all know that Mikel is the man. He's not for sale in the minds of Chelsea fans. For sale, bad. I've been in Amsterdam for a while, just allow me. But anyway,
that was underrated.
Thank you. At least someone appreciates me. Hit the like button and follow the podcast, follow the channel, whatever it is you need to do. Check out Kizzle Kicks. It's 7, isn't it?
It is 7, yeah.
Kizzle Kick. Why 7?
John Spencer. No, I don't know.
Good enough reason.
It's my favourite number. Played football since I was a kid, and it always just went. It was Betts. I'll be honest. David Beckham. I know it's nothing to do with Chelsea, but watching him take free kicks as a kid was insane.
Good enough reason for me. So we're in Amsterdam now. We're here on this lovely boat. Thank you, Raj, for having us. It's been an unbelievable trip. Even the sun has come out for filming the day after the game, and we were not even hungover. We can actually do it and say, you know what, I feel all right.
Yeah, I feel fine. Just
Sunday tripper
all the time.
Good decision.
Yeah, definitely. It could have been disastrous. I could have ended up flying out here to watch it in a bar, but I didn't.
That wouldn't have been that big of a disaster.
Do you know what? I was still jealous. I got to see the game, and I'm very grateful for that. But watching the goal go in when I cannot say or do anything,
honestly, unbelievable.
I was just watching you guys, and I was.
So this clip on the screen now is the clip that you filmed from the Ajax end of us Chelsea fans.
Yeah, after the game.
That is something else.
Yeah, he's coming over, he's clapping you lot for travelling out here. And obviously, I've travelled out here too, so I'm like, I should be in there, I should be part of that. But it was so loud. It was so loud and amazing to watch. You know when you're at the bridge on them European nights and you see a set of fans and you're thinking, wow, I had that last night, but about our own fans.
It's good. And always away fans in the Champions League. Ajax probably won't have any in Stamford Bridge, which I actually think is a bit of a shame from like a footballing perspective, because we were great there, and even though they've got a few like questionable individuals, as do every club, it would be nice to see them, but at the same time I think it gives us a massive advantage in that it's almost like a return leg, and even though it's not knockout football yet, it kind of feels as though this game and the home game against Ajax were the defining games in our early Champions League season. What do you think now? We're top of the group.
Yeah.
We're in control thanks to Lille's last minute equaliser. Valencia away and then 2 home games. You confident now that we'll get out of the group?
Yeah, I am. After that disastrous start where both teams were actually really bad at the bridge.
Yeah.
0-0 draw would have been the fair result in that one, to be honest. No one did anything.
Yeah.
But I'm always a fan of I believe if you win your home games, you'll be all right. We've now gone and won 2 on the spin away from home in this group. We obviously won at Lille and then last night.
Yeah.
So Ajax at home, right? Even if we draw that one, I think we should beat Lille.
Yeah.
That is the team that if you think, right, this group's quite hard. A lot of the games are quite 50-50. But we're Chelsea. We should be beating teams like Lille.
Yeah.
We've got home advantage, so that would give us 9 points. And I think a point out of any of the other 2, 10 points will take you through.
Yeah. So, and if we're looking to win the group,
we have to get out this group. If we don't get out this group now, we have mugged ourselves off.
Yeah, we've done the hard work and we've made it harder by losing that game to Valencia. Ajax at home will be, I honestly believe it will be the same game as what we saw last night.
In terms of game plans and tactics.
Yes. You could, to give Ajax a bit of credit for the way they did play. Yes, they didn't score a goal, but you know how organised they are. I didn't give them enough credit, and I don't think anyone gave Ajax enough defensive credit in terms of how they set up with the banks at the back, how they're structured, how they all attack as a team.
Yeah.
We're all just talking before the game yesterday about 2 teams that know how to play attacking football, free scoring. That's, for me, is what makes last night even better. The fact that we've gone against the grain of what everybody thought that game was going to be, and we've almost done what we did against Newcastle. We've kept another clean sheet. All of the issues that I've been talking about, and I know that we've talked about this together when we've been at games this season, defensively is where I worry.
Yeah.
But now, clean sheet against Newcastle, clean sheet a couple of weeks back against Brighton, let's not forget that as well. Now against Ajax as well, who are a team who have got so many good attacking players. We're in a very good position.
And we've got Rudiger to come back as well.
Exactly.
And I think he's our best defender. I'll be honest, I'm not Kurt Zuma's biggest fan. I think he's got all the attributes to be, and last night he was solid. Don't sit there and think I'm criticising his performance, but he's got all the attributes to be an unbelievable, and probably will go on to be an unbelievable centre-back. But right now, I do not feel comfortable if he is the last man back and someone is, let's take, Ajax have got a lot of tricky players with flair and dribbling ability. I think if someone dribbles at Zuma and they're one of those players with agility, he is clumsy. And I think that's what worries me. Tomori, I don't worry about that. I worry about him giving the ball away on the edge of the box.
He was faultless last night, Tomori.
He sent, what's his name, Ziyech, or whatever his name is, when he did that Cruyff turn and sent him off the pitch.
In the Johan Cruyff Arena as well. That's
dirty.
Like a mini iconic moment in itself. There's plenty of little narratives being written this season about Chelsea that kind of all go amiss. But I think, again, the one thing, and I bring it back to the whole point of that clip we saw that you filmed of the Chelsea fans in the stadium. Everybody, and it all comes back to buying tickets to the games as well. Like, you can't even get a home ticket now without having to rely on the VWR, because everybody wants to be a part of this story that's slowly building around Chelsea. We leave Amsterdam, you're going tonight, I'm going tomorrow morning. We're all driving up to Burnley, looking for an Airbnb. Currently we've got a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, which is going to be a wonderful little occasion with an open fire. What are we saying about that, Kieran? Lads' trip to Burnley. The antithesis of football this week, isn't it?
It is. You couldn't have two sort of contrasting things either. I've had another ticket nightmare though. I'm counting on StubHub to deliver the ticket in time for the game. I ordered it Tuesday and the game's on Saturday, and it says it's going to be delivered on Friday. So I'll go
Touch and go.
I'll go up without it, but I can't really get excited about it. But Turf Moor, ground I've never been to, one I want to tick off the list. Quite an iconic ground, I think.
Yeah.
Just classic English football stadium.
Yeah.
Burnley fans are quite passionate. Their team likes to tough it out, I'd say, in terms of their results. So it'd be a good test for our younger players.
Yeah.
To see whether they can stand up to that. But again, the lack of like a leader, a lack of a JT, someone that when things are going bad is just going to get everyone by the scruff of the neck, still worries me a little bit.
Well, let's give credit where credit's due. If we're talking about leaders, Azpilicueta last night was absolutely sensational.
Yeah.
Like that for me was if you ever wanted to summarise Azpilicueta's Chelsea career, you would show them that performance last night and say that is what Azpilicueta brings to this Chelsea team.
The guy cost us £7 million.
7 million.
Yeah, I think with Azpi, he's had a bit of a shaky start. And he's had some critics this year, and obviously he's a captain and stuff. But one, that he cares more than probably any other player on the pitch, I think, or at least
as much as.
Yeah, exactly. But you're going to get 110%. His performance might not be the best, but his commitment will always be second to none.
Yeah.
And that is why we love Azpi.
Reece James brought on as well. That just shows how much faith Frank has got in these young players. When we were talking about like Frank, young players, and it's kind of all like this. Everyone wants to hear people talking about it because it's a nice thing to talk about. It's not every year that Chelsea are able to actually boast and talk about, oh, look at this academy breakthrough. But Frank's genuine trust in these young players now, it's vindicated.
Yeah.
Because Reece James comes on when we're 1-0 up away at Ajax, Champions League semi-finalists, and Frank's telling him, make sure we don't lose this game. He's bringing on Reece James to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm sat there in the stands and I'm like, what a great substitution. Hudson-Odoi last night didn't have his best game.
No.
I think that he could have scored a goal. That snapshot he had that went just wide, I think he should have done better, at least hit the target with that. That's allowed. That's fine. And I think the key thing that we saw with that last night for me, I don't know how you feel about this, a lot of people have put Eden Hazard's departure and they've given the baton to Hudson-Odoi as the man who can win us a game.
Yeah, I think the difference now is we've got an identity. Like, it's Chelsea's youth system, and obviously we've won a lot of FA youth clubs and trophies and competitions at that level. But we've always the players have just disappeared. Like, I remember Josh McEachran. I've got him on the back of my shirt. I was so excited.
Josh McEachran.
When he came through.
Yeah.
And he made his Champions League debut, I think, under Ancelotti. And you're sitting there thinking, this guy is a baller. And then all of a sudden, the next year, we send 72 players out on loan, I think. Majority to Vitesse. But my question is, and my thought is, how much of this is down to the signing ban that these boys have been given a chance, and how much of it is down to Frank going, do you know what, I know these lads.
Yeah.
I've seen it on the training ground.
Yeah.
I know that I believe in them. How much of it is down to the ban and how much is Frank?
Well, it's a mixture, isn't it? Like, no one, if you say transfer ban, nobody immediately thinks, oh yeah, this is going to be good. This is a great idea. It's not what you want, but in the weirdest roundabout kind of way, it is exactly what Chelsea needed.
Yeah.
Because now we know that we have got a team who can compete on the biggest stage. Yeah, we won 6 in a row and one of them was Grimsby. People like to remind us of that, but it's still 6 wins in a row. And football's all about beating your opponents that are put in front of you, and we're doing that in attractive ways, we're doing that in grinding it out ways, in snatch and grab and run kind of ways like we did last night to an extent.
I weirdly enjoy those more, by the way. Those smash and grab.
It feels like a proper Chelsea thing to do.
Yeah, you think back to Mourinho when we won the league in 2005. How many games we won 1-0, 2-1 that year?
A lot, enough,
Loads.
More than enough.
And it felt satisfying to just go into someone's backyard, at times be outplayed, and just be dogged and defend, and then nick it.
Yeah.
That was such a Chelsea thing to do.
And that is something we've been so used to, and the fact that already with Frank we're seeing a mould and a mixture of that, the proper Chelsea-like way to win a game and how we've won trophies over the years. We're seeing that, and we're seeing this beautiful football. And I want to bring one player up in particular who came on again last night and just completely changed the game. When Pulisic came on, I don't know if you noticed this, but Ajax was scared of him, which brought a load of their players that were so well drilled and well organised for the whole game. As soon as Pulisic came on, he drags players out of positions to create the space for everyone else.
Yeah.
How good was he?
Yeah, they were very rigid in trying to stop. They knew Hudson-Odoi was a threat, and they knew, I can't remember who come on for now, William, wasn't it? They knew that's where our threat would be.
Yeah.
So they set up rigidly to defend against that. Christian Pulisic came on and was fluid, and he didn't. Like, they didn't know what to do. They had no game plan. It was like they were looking at the bench going, what now?
Yeah.
Like, we've defended for, I don't know when he come on, 70th minute, 75th minute?
Yeah.
And they were like, right, what now? Let's just see if we can stop this guy one-on-one. And they couldn't. And I think he's one of those players, granted he's not had the best of starts. I know it's been a big talking point.
He's been a good start though.
The Grimsby game worried me.
That was a
We
worry.
won 6-0, we didn't score a goal.
Yeah, and I think...
And he played.
I will personally say that I kind of criticised him as well. I kind of jumped on this bandwagon of, expensive player from Dortmund, like the next best thing to come out of the US. I kind of bought into all of this like hype, expecting like a Ronaldo Messi return, which is crazy, but it's just what you do. Football is like a reactionary thing where sometimes you hear a couple of opinions and then it's like, yeah, well, he needs to do better. He hasn't had the most like mind-blowing start to his Chelsea career.
No. But we've had 2 assists now.
Well, 5 in total.
2 recently.
Two very recent ones.
Southampton, both to Michi. And I think his confidence is he's a confidence player, I reckon.
Yeah.
Forget how young he is, he's just turned 21 years old.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's players like Michael Owen at the World Cup when he was 18, come on, smashed it.
Theo Walcott.
Wayne Rooney, when he, that was insane. But I think he's a confidence player. He's also one of them players that as a fan you love to see when he gets the ball at his feet, you shuffle forward in your chair a little bit because you don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
And he's got that quality. It's just how we get it out of him week in, week out.
Does he start at Burnley?
Yes.
He
Purely
does.
off his last 2 off the bench performances. Otherwise, we're going to shatter him again. And you have to, I don't like sort of pandering to players. I'll use the word pandering.
I like it.
You know, he's been a talking point. Frank will probably subconsciously feel like I should be starting this guy now. You know, the pressure on my back. I don't like any of that, and I think manager can pick who he wants. But what's Christian going to think? Like, right, come on, I've got an assist. Right, it was an important game away at Europe. I played well again.
Yeah.
What have I got to do to start? But then you're sitting there going, right, who do you leave out? Hudson-Odoi? Possibly after last night. Possibly. Pedro's frozen out.
Yeah, Pedro's kind of lost his spot now.
Yeah, he has, and I think he knows that, and I think he's happy with that at the point of the career he's in. So I'm not that worried, and I love Pedro, and I always will. But Willian would you say Pulisic, because Willian's been good this year, would you say Pulisic's done enough to put himself above Willian?
See,
Because I like to take things on a week-by-week basis, based on the game last night to Saturday, 3-day gap. Pulisic starts for me.
I think so too, and you've got to remember as well, Willian did play the majority of the game still.
Yeah.
And it's at this point of the season where you've got Man United. Yeah, okay, it's Carabao Cup, but it's still a match that Chelsea really want to win. It's a competition Frank is going to really favour this year because of these young players and everything else. We do need to start rotating players, and when players are doing enough to start, we shouldn't be worried about that.
No.
So if Pulisic does start ahead of Willian, I personally wouldn't start him for this game.
No?
Personally. I do, again, I hate to bring it back to like, oh, Pulisic needs to like bulk up a little bit. I think he's already showing signs now that he's ready to get stuck in a bit more.
Yeah.
I was saying that Willian last night, if you look at some of the highlights of him, he was jumping out of tackles, and against Burnley, that's only going to be more of like a smack bang in the face kind of jobbing. I don't know. I don't think I wouldn't. I can't make up my mind.
I'm still torn. Does he weaken our team?
You see, I would have played him in the middle and taken Mason Mount off and given Mount a rest. Yeah, play him as a 10. Bring Mason Mount off for a rest, but then I've been saying that for the last few games, and it was nothing really against Mount as a player. I love Mason Mount, and he does get a bit of stick for some crazy reason, but I think that's just people looking for any reason to hate on a player. So you could bring Mason off, but then he was so good last night.
Yeah, he could have shifted.
That is, Mason Mount brings the pressure. He brings that chasing it down so that they have to make the pass 1 or 2 seconds earlier, which gives other players opportunities to come in and intercept. I can't take him out of the team after that performance either.
What I like about Mason Mount is I think he is one of them players that just goes under the radar, and what I mean by that is people are going to go, right, we're playing Chelsea this week, who are their threats? Oh, it's this guy, this guy, this guy. I don't think Mount is one of them.
Alright, so we're just going to own up to the issue. We did a good outro. It was a perfect little take, and then we realised that the camera stopped rolling because we went past 30 minutes of recording. So yeah, this has been the unnamed Chelsea podcast, which isn't the name we're going to stick with. It's just that right now because we don't have a name, and doing
Suggestions
podcasts.
welcome, by the way, in the comments.
Yeah,
we've got a great name for this.
Let us know what you think. It's going to be, you know, like a very sporadic thing. We're going to try and do as many as possible, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. People have got commitments. It's kind of like, I make Chelsea videos every day anyway, so if it's just me one time, we can call it a podcast if you want to, but it's mainly just a YouTube video with a few crash zooms here and there, you know what I mean. This has been the first one, little recap of Ajax. Good to know about how Kieran became key ring, all of those kind of vibes. If you haven't subscribed to this man's YouTube channel, then you're missing out. Link is in the description if you want someone who is very consistent with uploading FIFA videos. That's definitely not me, it's this man. So go and check the link down below. Any last words from you, Keyring?
What a trip is pretty much how I'd sum it up. If
what
said 3 words.
A trip.
What a trip.
What a trip. That is as easy as it gets. Gonna fly back tomorrow morning, get home, spend about probably 12 hours at home, jump in the car first thing on Saturday morning, and go to Turf Moor. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We will see you all later. Goodbye.